Donald Trump and the other defendants have committed persistent and repeated fraud. Last week, we proved that in our motion for summary judgment. Today, we will prove our other claims. My message is simple. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law. And it is my responsibility and my duty and my job to enforce it. The law is both powerful and fragile. And today in court, we will prove our case.
1 year later.
Beneath all these questions, the question of mission creep has 6312 morphed into something that it was not meant to do.
All of the defendants repeatedly violated.
Ms. Vail, can you identify any previous case in which the Attorney General sued under Executive Law 6312 to upset a private business transaction that was between equally sophisticated partners?
And it was using...
I'm sorry, but what's being described sounds an awful lot like a potential commercial dispute between private actors.
I mean, you've got two really sophisticated parties in which no one lost any money. The case that you cite involved where there was damage to consumers, damage to the marketplace. You've got a scheme to get unsophisticated consumers to take out home loans. You got a collapse of Lehman Brothers. You don't have anything like that here.
And that's something you must address, because there has to be some limitation on what the Attorney General can do in interfering in these private transactions, as Justice Friedman said, that where people don't claim harm. So what is the limiting principle? The immense penalty in this case is troubling.
An appeals court has just thrown out President Donald Trump's $364 million civil fraud penalty. This just happened. It is a developing story. We're getting a lot more information, a big news story for the day. We're going to bring you more details as we get them. This just in.
And welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm here to give you my 2 cents on this frivolous lawsuit they had on Trump, which resulted in a $364 million penalty and added up to over $500 million after interest and fees, which was crazy. I don't know how they came up with that number, 364 million. That's just ridiculous. But, you know, while it's not a complete win for Trump, it is a win. But they did not throw out the liability on it. I do think he's going to fight it, and it's going to the upper courts, the upper appeal courts, and he may win. It may be an all-out win for him in the end. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's funny to hear Letita James say nobody's, above the law. That's coming to bite her back in the ass real quick. And, I don't think, honestly, in my opinion, she's really going to face any real penalties or see any real jail time. I know Ed Martin, the investigator who's looking into the mortgage fraud that's been committed by Letita James, he says he got a solid case there. I still don't think she's going to face any real penalties. We'll just have to see. I may be wrong about that. And, to be honest, I would like her to see some penalties. I mean, if it was you or me, any regular person, we not only would we see penalties, we'd see jail time on that. So, it'd be nice for them to treat her like she was not above the law, and I think it's ridiculous how they stated he overestimated his property. At the same time, if I remember correctly, Tish James said Mar-a-Lago was only worth like $18 million. Like, that is just ridiculous. I think that's what he purchased it for back in the early 80s. And it's gone through several renovations. I think they even added more property to the overall land. It's got to be worth in the hundred millions. Them saying that it was worth 18 million was absolutely ridiculous. And the Judge Engoron, creepy looking dude. Yeah, I don't know how he was just looking to go after Trump anyway. Like, very biased judge. I don't know why they didn't make him recuse himself. But in the end, the penalties got tossed away, and we'll see if he wins it in the upper appellate courts, where they'll throw the liability away too. As for Tish James, like I said, I'd love to see her, get some penalties, do some time, just like any other person would. Well, we'll see. I truly don't think that's going to happen. And I want to react real quick to what MSNBC had to say about this all. You know, they are huffing pure copium over there. They're not really happy about, you know, what's going on. So that's something I want to react and play for you guys real quick.
We're starting with the breaking news we ended last hour with. A New York appeals court has thrown out a massive civil fraud penalty against President Trump, a total that exceeded $500 million. They're calling that penalty excessive. Joining us now, NBC News legal analyst and
Excessive.
NBC News legal affairs
That's
reporter
a nice
Gary
way to put
Grumbach.
it.
Danny, break down this ruling for us.
Well, it's a lengthy ruling, and all the judges disagreed on their analysis, but they agreed on one final decision, which was that this judgment against Trump was a fine within the Eighth Amendment prohibition on cruel and unusual punishment and excessive fines. And in addition, it was punitive and it was excessive. That's really the conclusion. They concluded that because this was a punitive measure because there weren't any victims who were compensated. It was just a judgment against the company and against Trump. So the court here concluded with a lot of disagreement among them, but did conclude that this was an excessive fine within the meaning of the Constitution's Eighth Amendment.
He's right.
And Danny, when you say that
This was a victimless crime, and the bank still said they would do business with Trump again. They made money, Trump made money. In the end, everybody was happy.
was a lengthy ruling. We're talking to the tune of more than 300 pages. So we know that folks are going through it still. But Gary, give us a refresher of this case. Viewers are seeing on the screen from the time of the trial. How did we get here?
So you'll remember that Donald Trump was accused of kind of plussing up how much money he actually was worth and how much money the things he owned were actually worth. He tripled the size of his penthouse in documents to some of these financial lenders and brokers. You just can't do that. Yeah. And he was given a $300 million fine that has been plussed to $500 million because of interest. And that was 11 months ago now. And so this is a very significant win for Donald Trump. And it's also for his sons, because it was paused for his sons as well. So the entire Trump family.
Was that Triple H in the background there?
Is impacted by this. But I do want to get to a point that Danny was talking about, how everyone sort of had different opinions when they released this opinion. The appeals court said, one of them said, you know, penalties are supposed to stop people from doing things. They're concerned these individuals will reoffend, and it's getting rid of the penalty. Perhaps not the best.
Reoffend. The penalties were bogus. Any realtor would tell you that. Just all of them kind of give over assessments of their properties. The bank do their own assessments. I'm pretty sure all the realtors in New York do that. All the realtors across the United States do that, to be honest.
Idea here.
And for viewers, I think it's important for us to remind them there were certain lawsuits that were against the Trump organization. This is one of the suits that falls in that category. And interestingly, Danny, it was brought by the Attorney General of New York, Tish James. And right now, you've sort of got this subplot happening where the Trump Department of Justice now has subpoenaed Tish James for basically the records related to this lawsuit.
Yeah, I'd like to see those records too. How did you come up with that $18 million assessment for Mar-a-Lago in 2023, 2024? Like, get out of here with that.
The promises that they made on the campaign trail was, okay, investigate the investigators. This is certainly an example of that. Abby Lowell, Tish James's attorney, said that this is blatant political retribution. But talk about that bookend here that is new now that the administration is Trump's again.
There's no question this decision by the appellate division will embolden Trump and maybe the DOJ, but it's not really a true exoneration. What the court concluded, although the judges were somewhat fractured, very fractured, was that the defendants were liable. It's just that the punishment itself was excessive. Now, this may be a distinction without a difference to Trump's supporters, but it is an important point.
Right, because all Trump supporters are morons and can't understand the differences.
Because certainly in all of our minds, I mean, being found liable, but having the actual penalty removed feels like a win. But the court did conclude that the liability determination
feels like a win. It is a win. It absolutely is a win for him.
Was proper, and that the Attorney General had the authority to bring this cause of action under the statute.
That's such an important detail to underscore. Gary Grumbach and Danny Savalos, thank you for breaking all of this down in real time. It sounds like you've got some reading to do. We'll let you get to it.
And there you have it. You see, they're huffing copium over there. They're not really happy that that got tossed out. But I do believe the liability will get tossed out in the appellate courts and the upper appellate courts. We'll just have to wait and see. If I'm wrong about that, I'll be the first to admit it. And Tish James ain't the only one that they're going after. They are also going after Adam Schiff for mortgage fraud as well. Like, he claimed primary residences in two different places, which is illegal. Anybody else, like you or I, we would have been locked up. We would have been hit with penalties. It's just, it's crazy to see these people do that. Like, if they're above the law, all while going on TV and being like, no one's above the law. Right, right. I'm glad to see that hit them right in their asses, to be honest, let's see, I think I got a little clip with some Schiff stuff right here. Hold on.
It looks like Adam Schiff really did a bad thing. They have him. Now, let's see what happens. It's not up to me. It's not up to, I stay out of it purposely. But it's mortgage loan fraud. It's a big deal. He defrauded banks and insurance companies and the federal government.
Is a top senator in hot water. Senator Adam Schiff is accused of mortgage fraud. President Trump publicly accused Schiff this summer of lying about his primary residence to get a cheaper mortgage. Schiff is preparing for a legal battle. He's created a legal defense fund amid a Justice Department investigation. Schiff claims Trump is weaponizing the government against him. His spokesperson says the fund will help him fight back against baseless smears. Schiff's attorney calls the investigation an abuse of power. Meanwhile, the special attorney on the case says there's more dirt on Schiff that goes beyond potentially lying on forms.
So there you heard it, and again, I don't know if Schiff or James will see any real repercussions for their actions, but it'd be real nice to see that, come back to bite them in their asses after so many years of hearing them say no one's above the law, all while doing all this dirty stuff in the background. And that's basically my 2 cents for the day, or at least for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll give any updates as they come along. Like I said, I do believe it's going to the upper appellate courts, and we'll see if Trump wins those. But thanks for watching, and hit like and subscribe. Please share. It helps out.